Hello and welcome to Bookmarks' fifth live Facebook event. This week we're joined by 6 great poets and it's dedicated to Michael Rosen, whose birthday was last week. So hello Michael, if you're watching. I hope you had a great birthday and we hope you're doing well. I don't want to waste any more time. We want to pack as much poetry as we can into tonight. So I'll let the poets get on with it. Cheers.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm good to go.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm okay. Cool. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Zoom novice Curly in the house. Hello, my name's Curly. I'm a performance poet, bit of a hip hop artist as well. It's a real pleasure, real honor to be invited to be part of this event tonight in honor of Michael Rosen. We all wish him a very speedy recovery. So my first poem is hopefully a start on a theme in which I hope we could all carry on with, and the theme is love. So this is a Sonnet 18 written by William Shakespeare himself. And I'm going to perform this a little bit differently. I'm going to perform it as a bit of a rap. And the second verse is going to be a modern day equivalent of that same poem. So here's a 400-year-old poem written by William Shakespeare with a 2020 twist. Okay. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. Every fair from fair sometimes declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of the fair thou owest, nor so death brag thou wanderest in his shade. Within eternal lines to time thou growest, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. This is Sonnet 18, remixed by Curly for 2020. Words might change, but feelings don't. Then let me translate what Shakespeare wrote. Shall I compare you to a summer's day? For your beauty is more stable, baby. As we all know, the weather likes to change and summertime does not last anyway. So if the sun shines, sometimes it's too hot or hides behind clouds where it stays dim. So its gold complexion gets hard to spot. And its beauty sets. I know that sounds grim, but your lovely radiance shall not fade, nor lose the beauty that you possess. Death and decay won't take it away. You'll be safe in his words that I express. So long as men can breathe, the eyes can see. So long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So long as men can breathe, the eyes can see. Baby, you will live for eternity. Yeah, so there's a 400-year-old poem on the theme of love. Cheers, fellow poets, with a little round of applause there. Cool, thanks. All right, this next piece, basically, we're made of like 70, 80% water. Life itself depicts that we have to be able to adapt and overcome depending on our terrain. So this next poem is about, being adaptive, and it's called Water. I am in essence liquid energy. If the green leaves do dry out, then I am the rejuvenating remedy, the unsullied foundation to roots, the quencher of thirst. Dance as I conduct electricity through your muscles in rhythmic bursts. I am boiled and cooled and consumed to detox, and through holes in leaky roofs I trickle, 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 and dribble in little drip drops. But to avoid damp spots on your carpet, I can be funneled into vessels such as buckets or pots, or transform into ice to chill children's pop, or feature in shots of scotch, otherwise known as On the Rocks. I can also be a placid lake, an organic mirror for the sky, or gush forth through channeled streams in the cycle of life's supply. From whales to microbes, there's so much that can inhabit the very depths of my body, as I occupy 3/4 of the planet. But like the cash flow to any riverbank, my tide can be withdrawn, revealing seaweed and seashells that she sells on seashores. A seahorse gallops through my temperate currents, as surfers ride the crest of my bubbling abundance. And people might sail in dreamy contemplation upon my debts of ice-capped liquidation. So I offer King Poseidon, who was worshipped by the ancients, and I can also enhance any modern-day goddess upon whom I'm finally sprayed, mixed with the most alluring fragrance. And you can stare upon me as a mirror broken by ripples ranging so spacious, because unless my fluid surface is calm, I will forever remain faceless. And to attempt to quench your ego or your thirst with my body would literally be tasteless. Yeah, anyway, so that was that one. So yeah, water. Okay, this next piece is a piece about words. Now, words are very, very important. How we use them will determine the outcome of our day, our week, our month, our year, in fact, our life. So how we use words is very, very important, because what you put out, it tends to come back. So words. You can't resist this lyrical scientist with a fundamental hypothesis to kick this. I enlist in an army of words and write hard, excelling through the ranks with stripes on both arms. Commodore Co, my eyes are black pearls. I'm deeper than deep. My ammo never depletes. So please stand to attention when I speak and dance for peace to this sweet release. See, I've got words. Words are outstanding, so please never abandon words, because they can be more powerful than action. Words can issue orders for war or inspire a revolution against unjust laws. I like words that create peace, and words combined in a way to make me think deep. I like words like respect, friendship, and trust. See, these are fantastic ideas encapsulated for the benefit of all of us in words. But words can make you feel sad. I remember being cussed in school because I had an issue with my hair because it didn't grow back, so I was bald, I wore glasses, and I was half black. Man, the words. I heard hurtful words, atom bomb words that were aimed to destroy me, but I soon learned that only weak people use words to bully others. I had some great qualities, so maybe they were just jealous. Words. Me, I use words like love and support and apply what they define to my daughter and son. Words helped me to put my son's big tractor together because without those instructions, whew, it would have took forever. Words, how to build bridges and bonds between others, and maybe that pretext. I love you so much, baby. Kiss, 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 kiss. To finding your true lover. Send. You're gonna get some kisses later on. Oh no, I sent it to my nan. Damn. Words are a wonderful thing to practice, as words can open up multiple universes. Words, yo. These have been my words in a verse expressed through poetry. Thank you all so very much for listening. Sincerely yours, Curly. Hey, and there you go. All good, all good, all good. So yeah, I'm keen to move on to the next poet if you guys are okay with that. Who's that next person?
Hi, my name's Heidi. I'm a poet from Liverpool, and I'm also really involved in climate activism. So I'm going to do a couple of poems that are about that, and then one poem that's a little bit more general. So the main part of like the climate activism that I do is with Extinction Rebellion. And I love XR and I hate XR for many different reasons. So this is a poem that I wrote just after the last big Extinction Rebellion protest that happened in October. So in Liverpool, Extinction Rebellion is filled with loads of people that I love and are like some of my closest friends. So I wrote this poem for them. This is a poem for my Extinction Rebellion, my climate crisis crusaders, my silly, steadfast saviours. I wish you all the world. In the cold cast shadow of the halls of Westminster, we cross the road and sit. It has come down to this. Petitioning BP, writing letters to your MP, marching on the streets but forgetting by the night have lost their place within this fight. A government who have lost sight of compassion, do not care for passive action. They stopped listening years ago. I wish I knew how the lies began, who decided that an economic plan is worth this cost, the descent of man. I do know who bailed out the banks, who continues to fund oil tanks, who sank our future in military camps and now sits and hands out food stamps. Thanks, but no thanks. I know there's a world that is better. It is sat around me in a circle on Millbank. Those two are sharing cigarettes. He is sharing stories. I am wishing this will last. But too fast our peaceful rebellion is past and the police start to arrest our pack. A force with the duty to serve and protect are decked against us now. Orders come down from on high to clear the square of us hemp-clad hippies, lippy, loopy liberals who need to go and get a job on this busy street in the global north. I know my privilege well. I know that I'm scared about what is to come, but I know that I'm lucky to be where I am from, that our freedom of speech is defended in courts. And yes, the law may at times be unlawful, but we all must be thoughtful of the awful price that some have to pay just to try and have their say. The world is in turmoil from mountain to bay, and in this place, by comparison, we are safe. See, the most important thing to know about this climate crisis is the cost of human life is really where the fight is. Mother Nature will continue with or without our vices, and people are already dying. So when I joined this rebellion, I believed it was for everyone. And I know my little gang did too. He takes control of the crowd and he does it so well. She brings 2 Tupperware that is full of tiffin and that's so good that it's gone in seconds. She has bought so much stuff that it takes 3 of us to carry. She didn't bring the kitchen sink, but she did bring some rubber gloves, so she's halfway there. I ring his wife and we have a chat. And later she texts me back and says that she's proud of us all. She has all the information and all the care in the world. She has come from school with a black and yellow tent. And they, inside their halls and office blocks, they knew and have known all along. And they chose to engineer our destruction. So I know that sometimes our actions may seem distant, and I know that there are problems with our form of resistance, and I know sometimes what we do is not consistent with what's expected that we must do. But my little group from our Dockland City home is filled with good people doing good things. And I have so much love for this ragtag group of rebels. And when the world is blighted and that good night's drawing in, I will not go gentle. I will love and rage, because our collective joy is a way of rebelling, and our love is defiant to the powers we're protesting, and my little group dwelling in the shadows of Westminster is everything. I know that there's a world that is just within our grasp, and I know that were it up to us, that world is coming fast. So that's like one side of climate activism that's a little bit obviously like very against the government and stuff, and I come from like a family that's full of people that do this kind of thing. But my cousin, this is the context for the next poem, back in September my cousin decided that she wanted to do her own environmental protest, and there's a green space in Liverpool that they want to build a road over. So she decided that she was going to marry a tree in this park. And then she invited me to come and read some poetry at her wedding. And obviously that was absolutely something that I wanted to do. So I wrote her this poem, and I've given it the snappy title of How to Marry a Tree, a guide for friends and family, and a letter of love for all the Mrs. Elders. The tree she married was an elder tree, and she legally changed her name after the wedding. You plant a seed in a garden so that you can watch it grow. Show future generations what can be built from nature. Every sprout shouts out against a drought of compassion. This is action. When she tells you that she is marrying a tree, you raise a glass in honor of Mrs. Elder. Send her well wishes and big kisses. Say, you're crazy, but be there anyway. Laugh a lot, but remember why you're standing in that field, surrounded by wild flowers and wilder women. Bloom from roses, breathe and hold it. Your breath is a rebellion against our potential ending. Be friendly, learn to love more, but above all, keep going. We owe this earth our time. Plant your feet into the ground, look around and feel connected. Feel the complexity of knots and roots inside you and stand tall. All of us are nature. When the weight of the world is resting on your shoulders, know that you are resting on the world. It will not fall from underneath you, will retrieve you from deep, dark spirals of space and will place you upright, breathing still. Treat the earth as if you could keep it in your pocket. Know that it is fragile and precious and perfect. It is worth every second of your time to try to save it. Climb trees, know that we cannot live without them. They breathe out what they breathe in what we breathe out. Love them, marry them if you must. Create a sacred bond with the one thing that sustains us. Explain to others why we are here, why it is clear that we must act now. Act for your future, for your children's future, and for their children's future. Act for your children's right to play outside, to play alive, to play at all. Raise a glass to Mrs. Elder. Love big and love small. Choose love for a little tree in a big park. Be a green-haired goddess, a wide-eyed wanderer, and grow fast. So I have one last poem for you, that's a little bit more general. It's not just about climate. It's called The Foxes Are Voiceless, The Hunt Never Dies. The bunting is red, white, and blue. The guns are pointing outward, loaded. The hunting begins. You'd think the crowd would thin at the cruelty, truly be sickened by the shooting, but they close in. Their televisions tuned in, they're all assuming that these foxes have done something wrong. Not knowing when their backs are turned, their red tails give them away. Most of the populace are foxes these days, and the hunters, they never seem to run out of prey. But some fox just keep ticking the boxes that put hunters above hunted and shy away when confronted with blood-covered bunting and blame those foxes for getting in the way. The hunters all line up, beaming pride, glint in their eyes, mind pinpointing the prize. They're under the guise of being there for the people, evil. Wiser foxes stand behind, shouting from the sides, but out of the firing line, that's fine. The hunters are wearing their best. Can't hunt well unless you do up your tie. They blare the national anthem, ranting. The hunt begins. One goes straight for the fox cubs. Starve them, she screeches. They've listened to her speeches, her demeanour unscrutable. Her shoes, well, they're beautiful, diamond studded. When the foxes were bloodied, she did not shed a tear. Some fox are quaking with fear, but still some are watching, braying for blood, thinking they will never be next. On the right of the line is the people's man, pint in hand, swilling, spilling, and somehow he's winning, breeding hate for the foxes who aren't quite the same, gunning down and around. But wait, what's that sound? A fox rears up, turns back on the hunters. He is grunting and gorgeous, he's soaring, he's furious. He draws up full height against this far-right hunter, who is blustering about boatloads and protecting our borders. But this fox with a sly smile spits in his eye. It's frothy, it's milky, it's a moment of history. While the foxes are voiceless, the hunt never dies. Riot ensues. The fox in their number are rabid and jumping, spitting and kicking. The hunters give back, but they're starting to shy, till a fox in pig's clothing steps into the line. He twirls his baton. The foxes, mistaken, think he's on their side, till he starts to back the hunters. The foxes, they stumble, run, scatter, get underground. The fight can't be won while they're low on their numbers. The hunters all smirk. Their work here is done. And they all go back to where they have come from. They swill their champagne, roll out their red carpets, for hunters from far off who have bayonets sharpened. The foxes all gather in burrows and holes, and vow to their fox cubs they'll protect all they own. The foxes are voiceless. The hunt never dies. Not while we foxes stand idly by. Thank you very much.
That's great. Brilliant to hear, Heidi. That's fantastic. Curly, you're a genius. It's an honour to follow two brilliant poets. It's great to be here. Solidarity of Poets Against Racism from Nottingham, and to Michael Rosa, and fantastic poet. I hope he gets well soon and pulls through. It's great to share poetry on a Friday night. I've been watching the TV and watching the government, and it's painful. So It leads to writing poems. It forces you to have to write. Here's my first poem. It's called PPE. Patronizing political excuses, plausible perspectives excluded, pseudo-psychological explanations, pointless parliamentary examinations, patriotic platitudes exaggerated, a poor plan executed, percentage population extinguished, pharmaceutical profiteers accepted, populace polarized, envisaged, phantom policy extended, plum pudding expression, personal profile elevated, poisoned promises extended, preposterous parliamentary expenses, provisional provinces explode, people, planet, extinction, possible, proletarian, eruption. Thank you. What, that's woke you up, ain't it? It's woke me up. I'm not very good at juggling bits of paper. But let's have a go. I've been watching the broadcasts from the government, the daily 5 o'clock go to sleep for an hour broadcasts on the TV. And the first one I saw, they talked about the national interest. All of the national interest is about saving lives. And we've realized it's not about the national interest. It's about their interest. It's about their money and forcing us back to work in conditions that aren't safe. So here's my poem after the first broadcast. It's called National Interest, surprisingly. In the national interest, build ventilators, not bombs. In the national interest, nationalize the private beds. Stop politicians calling it a Chinese disease. This virus has no borders. Bail out the workers, not the billionaires again. Build homes for the homeless. Build hospitals, not warships. Build tower blocks that don't burn. Open schools that teach love and solidarity, and build bridges and not walls. Invest in communities and not stock market hedge fund casinos. Invest in saving the world and not bombing its people. Think global. Think international. Stop calling it the national interest. It's a world interest. Like it's not just the National Health Service. It's the National Life Service. Everything else comes second. So for your self-interest, for all our interest, stay at home, but be ready to come out fighting for a better world, hate-free, fear-free, greed-free, national interest-free, alone-free, virus-free. Thank you. And don't let them, look, some beautiful people. I can see so many beautiful people clapping and clicking the fingers. They're doing all the artistic poetry stuff that we should be doing. It's great to have you. Welcome all of you online into my bedroom. It's great. First for me to have 60 people in a bedroom on a Friday night. Excellent. I'm going to do a poem now. Now, it's not safe to go back to work, so don't go back to work. Get in a union. Don't be forced by the bosses to be a slave to their profit and stay out. So I think we should have a new demand, and this is my new demand. It's called No Ifs, No Babies. Let's end wage slavery. I don't want to go to work this morning. I think I'll risk the boss's final warning. No, I'm not sick, ill or demented. I just think wage slavery was invented. You see, many, many moons ago, we had pigs, sheep and crops to grow. All I had belonged to me. I was happy, dirty, cold, but free. But then came along the merchant class and they demanded half my ass. They turfed me off the lands of fact. They used that law, the Enclosures Act. All the fields that belonged to me were now their private property. I built their castles with my bare hands. They gave me potatoes to plant in the sand. I was feeding my wife, my kids, we were sorted until that feudal plan was aborted. And here come the capitalist class with their factory system. Come work for me. You can be the steam in my piston. It's a 4-hour day, but I'll make you work 8. No, I don't do it. Day's graft. That must be fate. You see, my profit is your surplus value. You're being exploited. I just forgot to tell you. The risk I'm taking is on your back. But if you cotton on, I'll give you the sack. So get back in line and start to behave. There is no alternative. You're my wage slave. And don't ask me how I got so wealthy. I'll build you pubs, chippies. That'll keep you healthy. But the system's rigged. It's all in your favour. You're the parasite and I'm the wage labour. I'm turning the tables. I'm going to attack. All of your wealth, I'm taking back. So sod the emails, the strategic plan. It's time to rise, every woman, every man. And I'll be in the market square. You'll hear the din. We have nothing to lose but our wage slip chains. We have a world to win. Thank you. Bookmarks are dedicated. We had Bookmarks was attacked 2 years ago, as I said at the start, and in Nottingham, the Nazis attacked a bookshop in Nottingham called Mushroom Bookshops, and this is really a poem I dedicate to independent books, socialist books, and a poem against the Nazis. It's called "The Nazis Can't Read Because They're All Illegitimate." The master race popped in while you're out. Next time they're here, I'll give you a shout. All dressed to kill, they stormed in gently, knocking over bookshelves. The mess was plenty. That book on the Jewish question is anti-Semitic. Oh, you know your history, of course. You're the bloody Nazis who denied the Holocaust. Engels was a pedo. Che Guevara's crap. That's when I knew. I had to take a stand. I had to start my attack. But if you want to hit a Nazi, don't use a pamphlet, see? Try Karl Marx's Capital, volumes 1, 2, and 3. Failing that, I've got another solution. Get your hands on Darwin's book, The History of Evolution. And if you see one crawling on the floor trying to get to the exit, go behind him and hit him on the head with my poetry collection, Life After Brexit. Now, if you think this is a fantasy, it's mostly in my head. But I heard it once. A revolutionary said, "Not the pen is mightier than the sword." I'll let you know when that happens. No, Leon Trotsky put it best. Books are bloody weapons. Thanks. It's been an absolute pleasure spending some time. I'm going to finish with a poem called The World's Gone Mad. It wasn't that sane in the first place. I don't know what we're all worried about. We're going to go back to what never was normal. But it's been run by some scary people. So this is a poem I'll leave you with. It's called Top of the World. The top of the world is broken. The top of the world is split. Brazil is run by a dictator. America's run by a shit. The top of the world is leaking. We've held it together with rivets and pins. The rich are still making a killing, while the poor still pay for their sins. The top of the world is melting. The ice caps are having a bath. The greenhouse is starting to boil us, but the bigots aren't changing their path. The top of the world is imploding, sucking us all down a hole. I'm holding on with my fingertips, but the madness is burning my soul. The top of the world is angry. It's throwing all its toys at its pram. And while the moderates mourn the end of civilization, the rich and the elite, they don't give a damn. The top of the world is vicious. It's growling and showing its teeth. While our leaders are asleep in their bunkers, the virus has taken the streets. The top of the world is hurting. The future now looks like the past. And the pain is really barbaric, but no one knows how long it will last. The top of the world is in panic. Nations divided, people at sea. And while the preachers and the bankers worship their prophets, the rest of us pick up the fee. But the top of the world won't budge. But there's something we've all forgotten. If you want to get rid of the top of the world, you've got to start the change from the bottom. Solidarity for me and Poets Against Racism. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Well done, mate. This is Chip from Poetry on a Picket Line. Can everybody hear me? I hope you can. Good. I'm going to do 2 poems from my new book, which is called A Class Act, and it's available from Flipped Eye on their website. So a couple of those, a couple from what's going to be the next book, and then 4 brand new ones, rhymes for our time. So this is the first poem in the book. It's called Death of a Pie Mash Shop. Real poets don't do that 9 to grind, schlep to work on a Northern Line wage slavery thing. Real poets don't organise strike ballots, handle personal cases, or stand on picket lines. Real poets don't wear Barracuda Harringtons, button-down Shermans, or step out in proper daisies. Real poets don't rubber-dub Unity style in a dance at the Betsy. Real poets don't go to 2 and 2 with an old China at Clark's on Exmouth Market. Not anymore, they don't. Thanks for that one. And this is the title poem of the book. It's called A Class Act. It's the thin veneer that's so insulting, as if we should be grateful that they feel the need to lie at all. Decisions have been taken, still they are consulting their key stakeholders, the ones that fall between the quite unloved, unlucky, and the unfortunate but undeserving poor. They'll play no real part in the big debate. Why do the haves need so much more to motivate them, whilst the have-nots apparently need so much less? How do we get ourselves into this sorry state, and can we trust the ones who promise to extract us from this mess? There seems to me to be one fundamental, fatal flaw, a massive fault line in their master plan. They want it both ways. Want to get well in the good times and the bad. They want you with your head down, working for the man. They want to stop you spotting you've been had. Whilst those who want for nothing, they want more. So now with government by clever knotting of the old school tie, and they'll do very nicely thank you out of boom and bust. So ask yourself, what does this signify? Is it a nasty accident or a betrayal of trust? The fact is, this is something that we've seen before. This is a class act. That's what this is. This is war. So this poem is called Quantitative Easing, which isn't easy for me to say. It's not so much the quantitative easing that's the problem, it's the qualitative tightening. It's frightening. As the rich get richer, they price us out of the market, the boozer and the caff. The buggers move like lightning, find the perfect gaff and change it. Rearrange the deck chairs any amount. They like to think that all lives matter, but it's theirs that count. It's not so much the gentrification that's the problem, it's the whitening. That's quantitative easing, and this one I wrote last December. You'll be able to work it out what it's about, and it's called Majority Decision Blue. We're on the ropes, all right. That's plain to see. We've taken a shellacking, now we'll take a knee. Have a breather, nod to our corner, then get up at 8. This is our fate. Back to the road work, into the gym when we get time. We have good reason and sufficient rhyme. Maybe we had a little bad advice from our own corner, maybe not. That's not the point. When all's been said, that corner's red. Some may have had their noses put quite out of joint, but they'll get through it. We know the work that we're about, so let's get to it. That was Majority Decision Blue, and 4 brand new ones, quite short, you'll be pleased to hear. The Marmot report on inequality in the health service was issued just in February 2020, just before all this shit started going down. So it's quite apposite. England is faltering. England is faltering, we are told, as if they hadn't noticed previous, despite our protestations. No expectations, just tight-lipped, gripped by the knowledge that these manifestations of greed will move us back to where we were before they move further and further out of reach. proper poetry there for you. Bit difficult. Talking about proper poetry, this comes with a little quotation from Lenin, would you believe? And Lenin said, every society is 3 meals away from chaos. And this is called 3 square meals. The bitterness of breakfast missed, the memories of arses kissed, the names and numbers on a list. It's just a hunch. A system red in tooth and claw, a chasm between rich and poor. The market is a carnivore and we are lunch. There'll be no tea for Tweedledee or any of the Tweedledums. There is a difference, do the sums. Adds up to less for thee and less for me, but not for them or all their chums. And that's the way it's going to be. Just wait and see when it comes to the crunch. And the last couple of poems, just to help make up time, because I'd never run over time. You'll know who these poems are written about. It'll be quite apparent. And this poem's called Our Apparent Success. Our apparent success has come at a cost. Truth, justice, and so many lives lost. Our apparent success tossed off by a toff in a cheap suit on a bad hair day. From Cicero to Pinocchio, from science to hearsay. And finally, this is called In the Sun on Sunday, and it's a found poem in that all these words appeared on a Sunday morning in a particular paper that none of us would buy, but they didn't appear in this order, and it's this order that's the important bit. In the Sun on Sunday, it was 50-50, a tough old moment. Other people suffering, some terrible buoyancy. Litres and litres of oxygen. How to handle it presentationally, all too aware of what was going on. Solidarity, comrades. Keep on keeping on. That'll work.
Hi, everyone. I don't know if am I good? Okay, thank you. So I'm Avita Colon, also known as Poetic Soul Queen. I am tuning in from the United States. I am in Lancaster, PA, which is about an hour and a half away from Philadelphia, if you're familiar with Philly. I'm going to start with a piece called Speak to My Soul, and I'll just go with the vibe. I know there's people like me that have potential to be named among the greatest, like Lauryn Hill, Pac, Maya Angelou, and Spike Lee. And it's hard for me to say this, but it doesn't seem likely when I focus my goals where someone else might be. Because God has a plan for me. She speaks to my soul. So I could be the voice of the oppressed until every story is told. For every woman silenced and every African sold. For every Panther jailed and every sister in the mirror hating themselves because the world is so cold. For every Black man that heard, boy, do as you're told. For those that were denied organizations and decided to break the mold. For those that walk these streets every day facing adversities and never choose to fold, I'm voicing your stories. Speak to my soul. Speak to my soul. Speak to my soul. Our generation is unconscious. The ignorance is getting old from the chains of gold where we change to gain control of identities that we lost with our names and lives they stole. I'm voicing your stories. Speak to my soul. Speak to my soul. Speak to my soul. Thank you. So that piece is, it's called Speak to My Soul. I actually named my organization Speak to My Soul off of that piece. And what we do with that organization is we use the performing arts to empower, educate, and elevate using our truths. And we just speak about our truths and the things that we're going through. So I'm excited to be here with you all. Thank you for sharing this space with me. The next piece I will do is called Penning My Revolt. This piece I wrote after, like, I don't know if you are updated on what's going on in America. It's continuous for us, but we see Black men, children, and women being killed by police officers, by citizens that think that they have the authority to take lives. And that's something that is ongoing. So every week it seems like we're meeting a new hashtag, and it seems like our lives do not matter. So that's why Black Lives Matter is such a big thing, and it is a global thing now because we're not the only ones experiencing this. So I wrote this poem from the rage and the hurt that I was feeling at the time with everything that was going on. I might stand up. My mom was Afrocentric from what I was told, but then she got up in that church. Where did that Afro go? They said I was born too far from the tree. Like, where did that apple go? I was more concerned with the blood on the leaves. Like, where did that apple grow? Eve was banned because of the knowledge tree. What did that apple know? So I tuned into my pad and I padded the jobs. Like, what really does Apple know? I ignore books that omit the real story and preachers that preach lessons that really aren't for me, and stories that are adjacent to the slaughters of Mr. Voorhees, or he's that capitalize off my love, whore me for more me, wars need. A woman to fuck shit up, lubricate the anger, Helen the danger, Trojan. White woman are inspiration, Black woman, they sold them to hold them in contempt until they thought we had nothing left. So they realized they needed us to raise our kids off of our breasts. Kids birthed with incest, Caucasus Mountain death all on the breath. Melanin made us superior, so they told us that we were less. And we believed that shit. Changed the whole focus, so we started to see that shit. Told us that we were bitches, now we're striving to be that bitch. Been at the bottom all our lives, now we do anything to be that rich. All this technology in the world, and we still can't see that glitch. Damn. I thought we were smarter. The community is getting softer, our lives are getting harder. Something's in the water. No, really, something is in the water. Esophagus deteriorating as we drink, silencing our sons and our daughters. With Flint, we didn't flinch. I've been looking at my tap a little funny ever since. The government has money but hasn't been offering us a pinch, governing the mint, circulating dollars we couldn't see if we squint. They didn't have time to preserve the sand bowl, pickaninny, and the winch. They only have money to use us for entertainment. Record deals are the new form of enslavement with school days. Then a Spike Lee satire, it's amazing. Sally Mae has a gun to my head waiting to take deferments off her payments. How are you okay with your dreams being deferred like raisins while I'm waiting for mine to blow like Satchmo? My arm's strong for taking this weight off my back so we can pick up where they say that we lacked and stack more and strategize information in a strategy that's tactful. Who said organizing is easy? Black Moses says she'll kill anyone that isn't riding. So believe me, I don't feel anyone that isn't rising because I don't see me dying at the expense of my own acting greasy. As I elevate, I'll leave you right where them streets be. Revolution isn't for the weak, B. Do you fear them more than you love your kids? Don't wait till it's too late to speak up and wish you did. Don't let them tell you that your black fist is too big because Judas the politician can't wait to kiss your kids and rich nicks your kids and so-called fix your kids for the growth of the nation. Taking our neighborhoods from us in the name of gentrification. We need to give back their religion in the name of elevation. The cotton is gone, but we're still manning the fields like Peyton and waiting for their savior to save us from their Satan, waiting from their savior to save us from them. The ones behind the white cotton sheets that tied Emmett to the cotton gin. The ones that imprison us to make the clothing that they put the cotton in. The ones that beat us with batons again and again. The ones that act like allies to infiltrate the minds of friends. The ones that won't sponsor me because of the fucking truth bleeding from my pen. Then again, I don't give a fuck. They judge the way that we act, but never tried to live with us or sit with us. Hell nah, you can't sit with us. I pull my own chair to the table, the jig is up. And I'll keep excavating the truth as they dig us up. So dig us up and tell the world what you really did with us. That's kind of my revolt. Whew. Thank you, thank you. I have one more piece. It's called For Black Moms Who Consider Suicide When Strength Isn't Enough. It's a play off of a play that inspired me to write choreo poems. Choreo poems are basically you have a dancer dance to your spoken word. So I started to write choreo poems and things like that. And that was the one that inspired me. But just speaking of mental health in the Black community with Black women, I felt like this piece was much needed for my own healing and the healing of Black women all over the world, just to hear our story. They will never get it or understand the feeling of protecting the fruits of 9, 10, 12, 20 hours of labor. Don't do me the favor of telling me how to feel. Don't tell me that the fear of my harvest becoming strange fruit isn't real. Don't tell me in 2020 we're not haunted by the screams that made me till, yet still. We experience PTSD from hashtags filled of young Black kids being violated and killed, no justice. Trauma instilled. This is for the ones that are told they can when they feel they can't. The mothers that hear music and their child's laugh with weak knees and callous feet, they still dance. This is for you, mama. I know what it feels like to no longer wish to breathe, tears dripping down cheek with child clenched on knees, suffocated and resuscitated by their needs, the wish to be freed from a stigma that won't allow us to wear our hearts on our sleeves, to tell that superwoman complex that we get through it, but we still bleed and we still hurt. When the community is hit, the Black mother feels it first, feeling like no one is coming to our rescue because someone told us that the Black woman is cursed. The Black woman is a whore, uncivil, unpretty. The Black woman is the worst. The Black woman deserves unwanted advances upskirt, living in the shade of white woman tears with iron fists breaking glass ceiling. The Black woman outworks. The Black woman is dirt. No, the Black woman is earth. Teach sons and daughters she's priceless, but your universe is the Black woman's worth. So they capitalize off the white Black woman's hurt, turning our tears into noose, pulled on by society, chair kicked by our youth and Black men that reinforce stereotypes about us being uncouth. White child fed off of our breast, Black child healed by our soup. White man bed us for sex, Black man disgusted by truth. Black woman fed pills and told pain isn't real. Never allowed to feel, so never given opportunity to heal. Head held high while character is killed. I don't want to compete with my sisters. My happiness for you is real, yet still. We have to teach our children that we are light and we are love. Drugged to believe that everyone else is above, but we are the warmth in the hug. The shelter, the foundation, the backbone, the plug, the healer, the teacher, the public speaker, everything a unicorn is made of. Black mom, bear the weight. Black mom, pick up slack. Black mom, carry the burdens of the world on your back. Black mom is queen. Black mom, stay Black, keep on. Sis, you don't always have to be strong. I wrote this because I too am a Black mom that has considered suicide when strength isn't enough. I am a colored girl that felt like someone has ran away with all of my stuff. I too have felt like I am not enough. Sitting on the cusp of ending a life once traveled, a little rough, feeling shame and guilt and what the fuck, missing the mark, hitting the mark, stretching the mark, stained on gut womb, beautiful as its sunshine, but still wanting the tummy tuck, breathing life, being light, energy sucked, feeling like the bearer of the sword, but still feeling the sting of its cut, waiting for answered prayers, good juju, or any type of luck, while no longer wanting to pray, meditate, or keep your head up, keep on. Sis, you don't have to always be strong, keep on. Sis, you don't have to be pawned, keep on. You are needed, everyone else is wrong. So that's for Black moms. Thank you so much for the opportunity. You all can follow me on Instagram. I'm Poetic Soul Queen, and I look forward to hearing more spoken word. Thank you.
I'm just trying to pour light. My vessel ain't empty yet, and yours ain't full. So don't pull away from the stream of abundance during a time of darkness and social distance. For For instance, only seeing what your two eyes hold when your third already told you what you heard. I mean, shown you what you've seen. I mean, what you haven't. I mean, shown you what you know. Tap in and grow. Allow this light to nourish you during a time when peace is uncertain. Pull the curtain. Open your vessel. Receive. Blessings, everybody. I am Queen Fears. Thank you so much for having me on this platform today. Thank you, my flow sis, Avita, for hooking us up. And thank you to all the poets, mental poets that shared your words today. Words are so powerful, and I'm just grateful to be in your presence. Live for today. If I wasn't reminded, perhaps I would not have even noticed. Every Friday is Good Friday to me. Hell, every day for that matter. But lately, every day is the same. Although it's different from what it used to be, it ain't every day they tell you people are dying by the thousands. It ain't every day they tell you not to go outside. The Rona out there waiting to catch you off guard and slipping. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, stand 6 feet away. Hold your breath when somebody walks by like I'm some kind of dis-ease. Please don't do me no favors by trying to say hi. Skip the pleasantries. Life ain't so pleasant these days. If you're lucky to have one, they tell you to hold your breath or you're going to die. Then they tell you to take 10 deep breaths to cure the fear of thinking you're going to die. They tell you it's okay to get fresh air from the comfort of your living room. Guess I'll take a virtual tour of this house and get to fixing. It ain't every day your grandma passes away and you have to watch her eulogy on the screen. They could only let 10 people in the chapel, one at a time. There were only 2 cars in line to the cemetery. Her life defined by the way she died instead of the way she lived. It ain't every day you pull in the Walmart parking lot and pull right back out with night sweats at noon. Can't even grab a couple of things without the Rona on your back, waiting to catch you off guard and slipping. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, stand 6 feet away. They don't even have the markers on the floor. Social distance, but ain't it every day people are dying by the thousands? Day in, day out, in the house, self-quarantine statistic. We don't even know what's realistic anymore. White House press conference becomes more sadistic daily. My remote hasn't been touched but to turn on Cubo for the kids. Ain't it every day grandma, pop, auntie is being laid to unrest? No one can take away what they meant to you, not even the Rona, but damn, did the Rona have to take them away from you? Now you cussing at God for cleansing the earth. It's every day you roll out of bed, throw on some sweats, only to break out in sweats at the thought of coming into contact with another human being because the Rona is out there waiting to catch you off guard and slipping. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, stand 6 feet away. I don't want the Rona on my back. I don't want the Rona to hold me back. I don't let the Rona hold me back. Hold me back. Hold me back. Because today doesn't have to be another every day. Anxiety is canceled. My brain functions, my limbs move, my voice works, my soul creates, my spirit is grateful. Today is another day I get to function in purpose and love on purpose and breathe with purpose. Today is another day to celebrate the ones we love most, even if we lost them. Today is another day to refocus energy where it matters most. Today is another day to be thankful. Thank you. I'm grateful. That's all I can say. I'm grateful. The world seems mad crazy right now, and I'm just trying not to get caught up in it. I am keeping peace. Whatever you do to keep peace, that's what you do in this season. That's what you got to do right now. If it's writing, if it's joining in with our poetry friends, if it's sometimes I just sit and watch and listen to other people's words and poetry because it brings me so much peace. I don't have to be, performing or let me get on. Sometimes I just want to be in the company of other like minds because that's what brings me peace right now. So while all the chaos and craziness is going on outside those doors, inside your head, you can keep your peace. So I just wanted to say that piece. But thank you. This is a piece that I share often because, like Avita said, it's like a never-ending saga, situation, occurrence that Black women and men are being systematically executed in our country. And so I'm still processing the most recent occurrences, but I share this piece in honor of one of my favorite queens who became one of my favorite queens after such an instance, and her name is Sandra Bland. Have you cried for her? For this woman to whom we are uncertain of her past, but know her history because it lies before us. Now, 6 feet deep beneath concrete she never got a chance to walk upon. The same concrete used to step over the body as cold as that floor and stand over the body to take a mugshot in prison clothes. She did not wear orange that day. She's blamed for having something to say. Silence is a virtue, so shut the fuck up while I disrespect you. Have you cried for her strength? For her to be arrogant enough to know her rights? But the price of arrogance these days is your life. And she didn't think she would have to pay that price, bankrupt, because she erupted twice. Now I'll think once before I fail to signal or smoke and drive. I just increase my chances of staying alive and hoping that survival is worth biting my tongue and letting you think that you won this one. Us, 0. Them, Trayvon, Eric, Freddie, Sandra, Kendra, your brother, my cousin, hashtag say their names. Have you cried yet? Have you cried for the freedom that you think is worth it in a country that doesn't even honor human code? For the supremacy that is so apparent and apparently not in our favor? For the lives that only matter after someone dies in a way that we feel is wrong? And after I cry, I'm unclear of what my tears mean. Whose life will they save? What agenda will they disrupt? How will they comfort? Because I feel nothing and everything when I release to it. I mean, it hurts like hell, but oh well, at least I get to get up and support Uncle Sam tomorrow. Damn my sorrow, because who has time to fight when you just trying to live? Cry for her. Cry for her weaknesses that made her strong, for her imperfections that made her perfect, and for her death that made her famous. And while you're at it, shed a tear or two for yourself, because you are just one hashtag away from your life mattering, from there being candlelight vigils and prayers all night in your honor, from being the next poster child on an episode of Cops Gone Wild. Tune in. The second slavery will be televised, but the revolution will be canceled because the ratings just aren't high enough. Wake up and smell the hatred. Wake up. You are not in the matrix. Wake up. This is your life, baby, and I pray you make it. I hope we all remember to say the names of the lost, because when they pass our screens, it's just like, oh, damn, that's a shame, or that happened. But the fact of the matter is, no matter how they rolled up out of here, they had a life, they were connected to people, they had purpose while they were here. So it's important to honor the mark that they made on this earth. And it's important for us to continue to fight for the injustices that took them out of here. So I don't want to leave on that note. What I'm going to leave on, and what something that's important to me and something that some of the other poets touched on, is the importance of words and the power of words. And I like to write affirmations. Affirmations are important because it's just important what you say to yourself. If your words can affect other people, your words affect you too. So this is an affirmation that I actually kind of pulled from another poem of mine to develop, called The Affirmation of Existence. And if it resonates with you, feel free to repeat after me. I am human, a real person. I'm tangible and untouchable. I am flesh and power, divine and royal. I am not a figment of your imagination. I am actual. I am fully figured of speech and love. I am not an image portrayed. I am memories and experiences and moments. I am meant to be experienced, held and felt, not posted in timelines. I'm meant to be headlined, bold print, and maybe even italicized. I am a person of my spoken word. I will be heard. I can't be shut out. I am unapologetic of my existence. I will be seen and continue to exist beyond this realm. I am life. I am real life happening every day. I am growth. I am the elements. I am boss. I am awake. I am alive. And my shouts can't be shut down. Grace and peace, everybody. I hope you continue to enjoy your Friday. It's weird to say that y'all on Friday night and I'm just finishing homeschooling. So I'm about to get back to that. But thank you so much for having me, for having us today, for being able to share with you. It was a blessing to be here. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, I'm Queen Fierce, Queen P-H-I-E-R-C-E.
Well, thank you very much to everyone who joined us, whether poet or watching live at home. I think tonight's been a fantastic event. We don't have another open mic planned with a date yet, but we are going to be organising one. So if that's something you'd be interested in, please send us an email at info@bookmarksbookshop.co.uk. Use the subject line open mic, and we'll make sure we get you an invite to that. Have I got anything else to say? I don't think so, really. Obviously, Michael Rosen, if you are watching, we wish you a safe recovery. Hope to hear some new poems from you soon. Thank you again to everyone who's joined us. Stay safe. Don't go back to work. Stay at home. And buy bookmarks. Thanks a lot.